Morning. This is Bernard Nomberg with the Nomberg Law Firm in downtown Birmingham. Hope you guys are doing well this morning for a Tuesday. Wanted to get back for a second edition of our live video streaming and wanted to spend a few times just talking with you about the practice of law and the kind of work that we do and some of my experiences. I've been practicing law for about 20 plus years now and had the fortune to represent hundreds of good folks around the state. Mainly injuries on the job is predominantly what we do here, and have been in more than 50 counties throughout the state. And a lot of the themes that occur in our cases are quite common. It is now second nature for me to interact with judges and court personnel and folks at the courthouse. But for our clients, we never forget that this may be the first and maybe only experience they'll ever have in a courthouse setting, and I know that it's quite nerve-wracking for them. No matter what they see on television or read or hear in the dramas, it's rarely occurs that way. There's no real aha or gotcha moments in a workers' comp case. It does happen occasionally, but we try to prepare for those. When folks get hurt on the job, it's clearly the most stressful times in their life because they're injured and they're dealing with their health, and it creates a chain-like series of events in their life that only ramps up the stress, because when they're not working, they're not earning, and when they're not earning, they're not able to pay for those necessities in life, such as food, putting food on the table for the family, keeping the lights on, paying bills, and this in turn creates increased stress in the house and their communications. So part of our job in representing injured folks is to take a little bit of that stress away from them, answer questions that they have, try to find the answers if we don't know the answers, just try to keep them informed with the way things are unfolding, because not knowing something is usually the most stressful about their situation, about what's going on with them. Prior to attending a deposition or going to court hearings, which involve our clients, we always try to take some time to meet with them, to prepare them, to explain what's going to take place, what to expect, and just to make them feel a little bit more comfortable with the whole process. Almost all of our cases are civil cases, which involve most of the time they're about money. Oftentimes it's about medical care. Never criminal matters, we hope. But those issues that we have to prepare our clients for, it helps them to feel more comfortable about the process. And we never take it for granted because we do this every day. But for our clients, we want to make sure that they understand what's going on and that they're good about the process and their decision making. Even though they're going to remain nervous most of the time throughout the whole process, we try to help with those things. We oftentimes will recommend to the client before a hearing or before a deposition that they go visit the courthouse or come by our law office or go find the office where they're going to be the next day, so at least they can figure those things out, and there'll be one less thing to be worried about. Being more comfortable in their environment, I'm sure, helps a little bit. A lot of folks have suffered injuries that are quite debilitating and life-changing. Others have more simple or easier injuries that they can recover from. Regardless of how significant or not their injuries are, we try to treat each client with respect. We try to treat each client with the same expectations that we would have they treat for us. Almost always, attendance in court at some point or another is going to be mandatory. We're usually there for an hour or less at the time, but nonetheless, it can still be a pretty harrowing experience for some clients, because they'll have to be affirmed under oath before they testify, and just going through that whole process is can be a nervous, stressful time for them. I do want to share one case that I had a couple of years ago. A very nice woman, but a very nervous woman, had come through a very difficult workers' comp case, tons of injuries, and she made a very nice recovery. We took her by the courthouse downtown Jefferson County, not too far from our offices, the day before, showed her the courtroom where she would be, even peeked in and saw the judge on the bench, and she said that she was prepared. We came back the next day for her approval court hearing, and on the way from the elevator to the courtroom, she excused herself very quickly to the restroom because she got so nervous she got sick, and she was in there for a few minutes, but came back out. She was fine after that, or at least we thought. We go in front of the judge, and she got so nervous again she had to run back out again to the restroom. Long story short, we eventually did get the hearing completed. She chuckles about it now, not so much back then, but she understood that sometimes it just takes a little bit of a time to get things done the way that they're expected to. And after she settled down, she was quite fine. While I've never been injured on the job, thankfully, knock on some wood, only the occasional injury playing some racquetball against David, one of my brothers, in a heated game. Having done this job for more than 20 years, I can appreciate and hopefully understand what folks are going through when they get hurt on the job and need legal representation. It's not just my job to advise them on the law, but it's also, we feel at our firm, we need to show some compassion, show some understanding, explain things. This is a job that I look forward to every day, and I have for many years, and I hope to for many more years. And if you are ever hurt on the job and feel you need representation, we would ask you to please consider the Nomberg Law Firm in downtown Birmingham. Even though we're in Birmingham, we do travel most of the state, if not the whole state. And we can be reached through social media, our website, nomberglawfirm.com, or by calling the office at 205-930-6900. Thank you, and you guys have a good day.